Yeah, I thought that was, we were the only ones.
Yeah, Abner's police, they have done that to them before.
Well, what was the law that the trooper told you? Because then you said to him that I wonder why there's such a big stipulation on the handguns and not the long guns.
Well, that was the thing. The handguns.
Because there's some like firearm law where.
Yeah, and that. But I don't
So
understand.
the police need to take them there?
To buy a little handgun, you have to go through all that.
Yeah.
But to buy a rifle at an auction, you can walk out of it that night with the ammo and everything.
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense. But that's what the law was.
So the law was you should have taken them to them.
No.
What was the law?
The law is that there was one little thing, and I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
But anyhow, I wasn't going to take them the next morning because, remember, it was snowy and icy.
Yeah.
And so Abner took them. But, you know, and then that wasn't the state police, that was the, something about gun control.
Yeah, I remember they said firearms and tobacco. Remember I asked them to see their badges.
And what made me mad is they were doing wrong. They looked in the kitchen windows.
Yeah, I know.
Stood out there and looked in.
I know.
And, you know, it was, and the guy said, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so then why would they waste the time? I mean, did they waste the time on all these other people too?
Well, it all boils down to who's wanted those guns to sell. Because your dad took the 243 down and sold it, made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they could have made a bundle on all those guns.
Yeah, and then they could have,
and then they just would have given me a portion of it.
Okay, so basically they're greedy and they waste the police's time because they're greedy.
No, they just all came
because
it's some little fine point in the law. That's all it was.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the hell it was.
I don't either, because I don't understand it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Hey everyone, your girl Liz here. So also coming to you guys today. Now I did want to also clarify earlier too. There's my disco thing going again. I love it. So for example, everybody knows, right, when it comes to, you know, like, you know, suicide prevention or even, well, really, like I said, all mandated reporters are supposed to help with suicide prevention. But when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, you know, medical ethics, right, come first, right? And then legality and liability, right? And here's everything that I'm looking at, right? If you do something like this, you know, like I actually did hear one instance, you know, where a person waited, or no, they filed a 302 and then they waited for the person to come back to their residence, which is totally no. In that instance, you know, you need to have eyes on them right away. That's the equivalent of a 911 call, right? You can't just talk to them on the phone. You need to actually see them. So for example, you know, and if you do something like that, showing that human ethics and medical ethics is first, and then, you know, legality, being fined, losing a job is second. So whenever you're doing that stuff like that, you make it really hard for people to think that helping people is first. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that kind of stuff as well. So it's like, yeah, you know, and it's also, again, more going against you at that point too. But like I said, I did just want to share that too. And then, yeah, like I said, that just wasn't cool. So anyhow, so again, everybody's definition of respect is different to an extent. So for me, right, it would be not just asking that question, not just saying that's a good question, but I'd be actually following up um, with at least a little something. I mean, if you're gonna take 20 minutes to take pictures of all the stuff that she had written down and stuff, I mean, clearly, right, then you can take just a little bit of time. Because then you show me that you have the job because it's personal. You don't have the job because it's a big paycheck and you're worried about legality and liability first. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, that's the proper way. Caring about people is first, right? Then our own personal viewpoints on this and this and this, again, to an extent, is second. You know, not that's first, right? And then me taking this job because it's actually personal is second. And in an instance like that, that basically showed me that, yes, the job is, you know, it's one of those kind of things for him. But again, I didn't say anything. Was it really the time or place? But it's definitely something that you know you have to kind of think about. So, anyhow, guys, let's get into my video now. This is a good 18-minute intro for tomorrow. Here we go. So there you have it, guys. That is officially the voice recording. And it was ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. But like I said, you know, there's an appropriate and an inappropriate to almost everything in life. Because really, there's two ways of looking at everything. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, right, let's use, you know, the appropriate, right, all available backup. Obviously, Lewiston, Maine was an example of all available backup. And the appropriate all available backup, right? You don't need all available backup for everything, though. But anyhow, guys, so for example, geez, why does it keeps doing that? It's like a shadow, it's like a disco. Anyhow, guys, so obviously the inappropriate would be, well, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, right? Like the comm center could have, you know, said, you know, well, why don't you have everybody else who's there supposedly blow up our phones for, you know, and then maybe we'll treat it like we should and just have people drop everything and get there, right? It's like, no, that clearly didn't happen. Obviously, yes, the comm center's phones were probably ringing off the hook, you know, but it was probably just they shared the information. Again, I don't really know how all that works, really, but obviously it's probably something short with we have people there, you know, and then hang up because obviously other things could be happening in the county that would also be other people calling in. So they almost have to make it quick, you know. And I don't know if that's an instance where the 911 operator can actually hang up to just like answer, right? That what's your emergency? They answer and then you answer and just hang up right away. I don't know how that works, honestly. But yeah, you guys get the point. So that would be the inappropriate, right? It could have been a lot worse, right? The inappropriate for sure. You know, so again, there's an appropriate and an inappropriate. So obviously, if that guy had been reprimanded so many times, you would think that he would have stood up to McGrahm and said, I'm sorry, or he might not have even said, I'm sorry, because, like, if anybody else read that article, I actually fit all 5 of those again, but it's like, no, Alyssa's either going to take them there, or somebody in the immediate family, because I'm not going to get in trouble again. So again, like I said, it was definitely not cool. But also another thing, and I did want to just give another example as well. I don't know. I know. Meow. Alright, guys. Anyhow, Where was I? Oh yeah, so like I said, um, I don't think that was his first time, but getting back, and I did think of this example while I was doing dishes at work. Um, so, for example, right, you could be envious, right, of your next door neighbor, right, because they have a good backyard, you know. So when it's busy and all that, like they don't have to plant all these trees, right? They don't need to wait for all of these trees to grow up, which obviously you do see that some places where there's a whole bunch of trees, um, that where you could possibly, be near a fence and see their backyard and all of that. They're usually they're big, tall, like evergreen trees and evergreen bushes, and stuff like that. But anyhow, so you could be envious of them being able to do cornhole, right? And at the same time, they're envious that they don't have a good front yard, because they have to deal with skunks, right? Because I don't know, maybe they don't want to put their trash can in their garage, because it stinks all the time. So they have then that's the only place to really put it. Um, I don't know, they just think it looks junky, or maybe they have a whole bunch of steps getting up, and you don't have steps going into your front door, it's all flat. So you're envious of their backyard because they can play cornhole without all these neighbors just creeping on them and, just being weird, right? Because for you, when you go out your front door, let's say the mail doesn't usually come until later in the afternoon, but it just so happens that every single morning that you wake up and you go to take out your dog, you feel like you have to, I don't know, wear a super baggy long sweatshirt, because your next door neighbor just so happens, right, to be going out to check the mail, even though it's not going to be there. And he just so happens to have a good, camera like mine. And he dangles it around. And for all you know, he could be recording. And he actually, like, bends over, right, and pretends to pick something up. But he's actually bending over and zooming in on you, right? So it just so happens that it just magically happens like that. Right? So again, while you're frustrated, that you don't have a backyard or you don't have a back little mini walkway, connecting, um, like the side of the house or anything. You know what I'm trying to get at, guys. Like the side door into the garage. So while you're envious of their backyard, for games and privacy, and you feel like if you had to go out and you feel like you can't do that, and you don't even really hardly have a backyard, like I said. So again, you're envious of their front yard and they're envious of your back, or vice versa. You guys get the point. So yeah, it just so happens, right? And that's an instance where it's realistic. It's not you're making it weird. Yeah, that's plain weird. Okay? If they just so magically know, right? And you even test it because you don't take your dog out at the same time every day. Yeah, that's an instance of that's creepy. And I'm not making this creepy, right? Do you know what I'm saying, guys? So yeah, somebody always had, and that's again the appropriate, right? Now there could be the inappropriate, right? It's like, well, your blood sugar is 300, but it could be 500, right? Seriously? Or yeah, you might go into a diabetic shock at 1900, and some people might go in at 1600. So just deal with it, right? Again, no, okay? No hospital is going to reject somebody like that, or reject with a statement like that. That is pathetic. Definitely not a time where you'll lose your license, but definitely a time where that person is going to be gone. So, anyhow, guys, nice little addition to start for tomorrow. But thanks again for watching. Like I said, I don't know what all that was all about, but and I really forget. I could probably look at it myself and just do like the handguns at an auction in Pennsylvania law or something like that. I could probably figure it out, but if I do, I will figure it out and then I'll make another video. Anyhow, guys, this is nice. 12 minutes to start tomorrow. So anyhow, now we can get into tomorrow. I will actually officially do my viz checks, and I might do the trail to the left, but I might not do that either. I'll have to see. Anyhow, guys, talk to you guys later. Hey everyone, your girl Liz here. So coming to you guys today now. You guys can officially see, geez, watch it, listen, banging into stuff. Anyhow, guys, you guys can see that I am in the Florida mood. Because I haven't seen this commercial in like the longest time. But there was a TV commercial where they were like, Bermuda, Bahama, and it was something about like an airlines or something. It was pretty funny. I think it was like Southwest or something. It was a pretty funny commercial. Very clever. So as everyone can see, I officially got my, just miscellaneous stuff. Today, later on, my grandma and I are going to go. She wants to get some pants and obviously go down to Dairy Queen again then for my final pumpkin pie blizzard. So it's nice to have her treat me, because obviously she paid for the last one too. So that's nice, a big help, for Florida. Just little things here and there, right? Like I said, with all my money and saving and everything. And also, I just finished my orange juice today. You guys saw that I got it out. And I got that, obviously, on Labor Day, on the 1st. So, boom, guys, boom. We're crushing it, guys. That lasted me 5 whole days. That's amazing. So, anyhow, guys, I did just want to come on briefly, quickly, and share as well, before I go down for a viz check with you guys, that, I guess I should have clarified too, like I said, with, showing people that the job is personal is first, right? And then all this other stuff is, next. So, for example, right, like I said before, and this is the only time, but obviously, most first responders, almost all of them, again, it's hard to tell because a lot of it doesn't get attention, other times it does, and then there's always that discrepancy of, oh, it's always happened, but nowadays everybody has a video camera in their pocket or something like yeah. So anyhow, but most of the times when you do see bad first responders, it's usually like police, right? But I've never seen like a bad EMS video or a bad fire, video. But anyhow, for example, and again, they are doing the appropriate at that point. So, for example, this is a fact too. Like if a person is on an island, right? And I'm not talking like an actual island. I'm talking just an island. Like let's say a waterfall in like a mall, right? So if they're on there and the water around there is electrocution, I can't think of the word, but anyhow, you would be electrocuted if you went in it. Electrocutionable definitely ends in a word. Anyhow, guys, not an English lesson. So, for example, they're gonna have to have maybe the fire department get up and go down through the roof, or find other ways, right, to get across because they're not gonna die on their way to get you, right? Because then that's two people that are potentially dead or severely injured instead of one. Do you know what I'm saying? But does that mean that they don't care? No, because they're still doing the appropriate, right? They're still doing everything they can. It's just while the fire department is climbing up, there's nothing the EMS can do really. Just, hope. Or, I don't know, maybe like find wood, right? If the electrocution amount, like the volts, there we go, the volts isn't that bad that it would actually just kind of like seep through the like the strands, I don't know if that's the right word, of the wood. Do you know what I'm saying? They would be finding something, to hinder, or they would just, I don't know, maybe there's like a furniture store nearby and they'll just throw all the blankets in there and then, I don't know, maybe, again, I'm not a first responder, but I probably could figure it out. Again, practice what I preach. They'd probably have something that wouldn't, like, conduct with the electricity and put that over the blankets then. Or maybe have the fire department put over their emergency blankets that they have, those ones that you guys saw in Fire Country where you just put it on and you just have to, like, sleep in that until the fire's gone. I forget what they call that, honestly. But, so honestly, again, though, you would, that again doesn't mean that they don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? So, that is an instance where technically they do kind of what I had shared, and how I felt, right, when there was just a question asked, and there wasn't much more after that. It's like, that's not, you're definitely not showing people that you take the job because it's personal when it's stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just wanted to add in that clarification that is one time where first responders kind of do that, but also, again, they're not. Because it's not like they're just standing there acting like this is their first day on planet Earth and saying, well, I mean, I didn't go through high school. I don't know what, blankets are. I don't know that blankets absorb things. I didn't know that paper towels absorbed water. Right? Right? Do you know what I'm saying? They're not doing that. So, it's one of those instances where, again, then people also who catastrophize, right? Say, for example, right, they're like, wait, well then, so you really only care about yourself. It's like, no, right? There's ways to work around it. You just have to stay calm in those situations and think things through thoroughly and rapid fire, which obviously I'm very good at doing. So, anyhow, guys, you guys saw it here. This is only 6.5 minutes. So, that's a nice little addition. Definitely puts me up around 27 minutes now. I was at 20 minutes from my video earlier. So, I am going to get my GoPro, get my tripod. I was thinking about doing like a rope on it, in some way, shape, or form. Just to get it down there further. I don't know how deep it is. I'm very curious as to see what is in a pond. It almost like reminds me, I'll have to see if there's a connector from the stream, but it almost reminds me, like I said, when I was at Rock Run, I was like, wait, how do these fish get in here? Right? Because if you look downstream, there's no way that they could get down through there. Like, how did they get in there in the first place, guys? I don't understand it. So, anyhow, guys, again, thanks for watching. Nice little 30-minute. And then, like I said, maybe no video later on today, or maybe tomorrow's video will just consist of the remaining videos from today. I am going to try to watch the first half of the Steelers game, too. You guys obviously remember last year, for my brother ends it coming, though. But remember, for last year, him and I had... Yeah, him and I. I talk about all this English, and now I'm making sure that I'm using good English, guys. Anyhow, like I said, he's not coming. And last year, obviously, I watched the first half with him. And then I did some grilling, and cooked us up all the burgers and everything. So it'll definitely be fun to watch the first half. But like I said, that's at 1 o'clock, and it's only 9:30. I did also just fill up my car, too. So that's another 4 days. You know, every 4 days, right, with $4. And then every 4 days with, like, $30 about. And then, you know, every 6 days. I actually didn't look. I think this ounces today of orange juice was a little bit less, honestly. But again, you know, that's an instance of, you know, you can just basically just crush it, you know, and get those, get down to Florida, guys. Florida. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you guys later. Or how about this? Hey everyone, your girl is here. So here I am now, guys, officially finally here, walking the trail. Somebody honked. Walking this little trail around the pond, trying to get to the back end of it. Next time, I will definitely have to come more prepared for sure, guys, and get out my Crocs. Or since I'm done with those pink Reeboks, honestly, you know, just do them, so I have a little bit more traction at least. So let's see if it's over here, guys. You can see it peeking through there. Oh, guys, look, here's the end of it. Awesome. What is all them ripples out there, guys? I don't know. Let me get to it safely. And I'll be right back with you guys. But look, there it is. Hey everyone, your girl is here. So coming to you guys today now. I'm officially here now that we've done my walk and everything. So sadly, whenever I went to walk out there, you know, it was just all, you could tell the pond was, you know, making everything around it saturated. I don't know why the heck my voice sounds like this now. It sounds like I just breathed in a freaking air balloon. I don't know what's wrong with it sometimes. I mean, just weird. Anyhow, guys, so, and actually, I think it's something I'm more self-aware of, because then whenever I go back through and I listen to the films, I'm like, oh, you guys actually aren't hearing anything that bad. It just sounds really bad for me for some reason. But anyhow, guys, so what I was also thinking about doing, next time I can go prepared, and take my shoes that I'm not wearing anymore, and I can walk out there a little bit more, because you guys saw, that's pretty heavy, honestly, you know, pushing it way out there. So that's all, it's very heavy for sure. So, you know, take that, you know, further out there, and then, you know, and like I said, I would really like to have a pole or something, like a fishing pole, but that would be, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, there's just something about it, like, it could come undone, you know, because you would have to have something looped around the tripod extremely tight, and then you would have to, you know, have like a good hook, and really make, I mean,
with my how much that GoPro means to me, with as good as it is and everything. Definitely worth the $350. I would need to like weld it. I would literally be like, that this can't come undone. But I don't know, honestly. Obviously there's YouTube videos of people doing like snorkeling and scuba underneath like rivers and stuff. And I've actually never seen pond videos. But maybe I could try to figure out like who that owner is. And you know, ask them if I can take my paddleboard out there. And then do some viz checks, via the, you know, so the tripod, with the camera. Because, like I said, whenever it comes to stuff like that, you have to know your footing first, right? So that was good today that I at least touched the bottom, and I know it just wanted like a big drop off there. So anyhow, guys, that was really fun. So now, what I'm gonna do with you guys, like I already shared my plans for the rest of the day. I'm actually gonna walk back here with you guys, and this is actually crazy. I finally, well, I didn't really do this on purpose, so, you know, it has been an entire year since I was walking here, and once I got in like 20 minutes, that's when, you know, the person was moving, right? So I dropped everything that I could and, you know, went, and it's gonna be a bright sunshining day, right? So anyhow, guys, and speaking of that, so like I said, it's actually been like forever since I've been here, as well. I've been up at the other end, at the lookout, a lot, but I haven't been at this end for like over a year. So I'm gonna go and see how the fall foliage is maybe starting a little bit. You guys can definitely tell it's getting very pale green. I know my grandma's like, holy cow, Alyssa, you know, down there in Virginia, it was green, gosh, girl. Green, gosh, girl. 5 G's, or 4 G's, except good girls go bad is GGGB, so it's 3 B's. But yeah, guys, I'll go ahead here and get in here walking, but I did want to share as well, and if you guys noticed, certain times, or, well, even with my coworker, following that coworker, place of employment, so co-workers, right? So whenever I had texted her that one night, and she was like, remember, she wanted to just get off like an hour earlier, or she wanted me to stay till 10 so she could get off at 9, and do studying. Remember how I just said no? That also goes off what I had shared, you know, with, you know, the article, because I shared last night how I fit all 5 of them. So I'm going to go ahead here and start my first 4 minutes. There is a road sign there, so I'm going to just, you know, wait until I'm in here a ways, and then I'll maybe see, and we can go over some fall foliage together. And then, yeah, we'll be good. And then, like I said, any remaining short films, like I said, maybe I'll do some, you know, first play of the game. 10:45, I can still get the first play of the game for sure. You know, or, you know, the GoPro films, obviously, if the format is weird, that will obviously be, I don't know why it did that last time. I had even said it right, and I didn't understand it. So let me go ahead here and head on out, and I'll be right back with you guys. Sweet baby Jesus, guys. What is that? I don't want to get too close. I have to really watch the wire. I think that's a bear trap, guys. Like, no joke. I know I forget what. I'd have to really dig, guys. What is it? Guys, what is that thing? I'm pretty sure that's a bear trap, guys. Holy cow, guys. That's crazy. That's wild, guys. So anyhow, guys, coming to you guys today now. It was literally just up the road. I'm literally right here. Here, I'll flip it around just enough. There. You guys can have to keep my license plate out of the picture. But holy cow, guys. That's a crazy way to start it. And I really like these fluorescent orange. But guys, that's crazy. Because I was just walking in and then I was like, oh, dang, what is that? I'd have to really, really dig, honestly. I think that was on one of the Chilean scares. They were looking at this house, and this person had like a wire or something on the right hand side going up the steps or something, and this thing, you know, it catapulted down, and a knife would have came right into your throat. Yeah, it was one of the urban explorers. I don't remember the backstory though of the house. I don't think it was like open for renovation, or I don't know the whole backstory. I'll have to find the video though and show it here at the end. But yeah, guys, you guys can see it's definitely starting. There's no denying that. So the grass is even starting there. So it's definitely starting. I know this morning you guys saw I was wearing my almost sweatpants, guys. Welcome to the beginning of September in Pennsylvania. Some years, and really most years, sadly. But like I said, guys, I'll probably just get going here, honestly, now. And then, yeah, probably just get going here. Obviously, I have to take it easy still. Oh, see, look, it looks like big yellow cat equipment is down there. And you can't even see my car except the very edge of it. Here comes light speed. So, yeah. So, like I said, guys, I'll probably just end this film. I know I've said that 10 times now, so I'll just end this film, walk up here a little bit, honestly, and then get it started producing. So, here we go, guys. Oh. Guys, what is that plane doing again? Wait, see? Wait, hold on. Wait, right there. Hey everyone, your girl is here. So I made it to a flat area now. So I think I'll just continue filming because I'm only at 38 minutes. This, I think it's, I looked at it quickly on my phone. I was like, that's not mountain laurel. And then I was like, huh, what is it? So I looked at it. I think it's called ironweed or something. So we'll go ahead and call it that for now. But holy cow, guys, look at it. It's definitely getting nice back in here. So I definitely like, you know, having this now. But guys, that was amazing. That's 2 videos. And it actually looks like there is a trail. If you guys kind of look, it looks like it's winding up through there. Before we get down here, I'm curious to see how the leaves will change down in here. And I actually didn't do this trail, honestly, last year. I just did the main drive and then this drive. So maybe this year too for fall foliage, since it's a 50% lush life summer, and year really. I think what I'll do is just explore this right hand side this fall, in my pale green. So there is a parking area, it looks like. I know it said on the thing back there. No. Guys, look. Oh my god. Guys, there's another one. You know, we're really gonna... Jeez. If I will stop sounding like the birds on Finding Nemo. Me. Guys, we're gonna see, like, why do they have so many? I know I heard recently that they're doing, like, guys, look at that. Beautiful. I heard recently that they're doing, and this is actually on the news, they're doing, like, you know, if you see turkeys, right, you're supposed to let them know or something. I didn't let them know. I forgot about it. I mean, it's too late now, honestly. But anyhow, they wanted people to report the turkey sightings. For some reason, I couldn't remember the reason. So, before I get too far downhill again, I don't know why, I just seem kind of like out of breath today. But I still feel beyond adorable, guys. Freaking cute. So, if I would have brought my tripod and I would have been in the photo shoot mood, I could have gotten some good ones, guys. So, alright guys, we're gonna walk this trail just a little bit, honestly, and just see what's here. Since again, I'm only at 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 minutes. Right, there it is. Let's walk on in here, guys. Is that oh no. See, it looks like, a beer can thing. Hang on, guys. I'm being very careful. How the heck do they get them up in here, though? See, but it's so hard to tell. As long as I stay back, I should be good. What is that? This is another time of, guys, I don't understand. I don't understand. Here, we're gonna look at it head on. What in the heck? Oh. Well, guys, that is another example of, well, alrighty then. Alrighty then. Is that, I think that's Guy's. Yeah, that's Guy's hands that they have. But guys, look, this is what they have in it. But it looks like something else just, I don't think, I mean, that must have been here a while because clothing just doesn't do that. That isn't fresh. Clothing doesn't, look guys, so look. There's like a, what is that? That almost looks like the deer things that they use to lure in deer. Seriously, I have to wonder how the heck they get them in there. Oh my god, look how cute. I love this. Oh my god. I love how cute I am. See, I can't tell if there's, and again, I don't want to disturb. I don't even know what they're trying to do. But it looks. So maybe something closes on the front side? Like, how does it close once it's in there? You know what I'm saying? Well, I know I'm not going to get caught in there, but I could definitely get hurt. What's up with this hay? Guys, this is weird. Maybe this and my mountain laurel will be my thumbnail. There we go. Look at that. Wait, hold on.
You can get all this stuff in behind it too. Alright guys, we're not going to move any closer. Watch me, like, here we go. Wait, hold on. Don't be one of those stories, Alyssa. There we go, right here. Wait, just a little bit further back. There we go. There we go, guys. Alright, so that'll be the ending of it. I still am wondering what they're trying to do, or get, or gain, or achieve. I have no idea. I have no idea how the back end of it closes. I don't understand any of it, guys. But I could probably try to figure it out. But they might not share, too. But like I said before, I don't know if they were those kind of cages. Obviously, the person who chainsawed on the mountain, the person who chainsawed on the mountain, they obviously are still alive. Obviously, my grandfather is not. He has moved on. So, I wonder if I could ask him if that's kind of how they look. Because like I said, that's all what it boils down to. Because it all boils down to the money. Kind of like I shared before, right, with Koberger. Right, so if Koberger would have asked for death with dignity, right, for his condition, they wouldn't have allowed it. Mainly because, well, for a couple reasons. But again, whenever you start to lie and from the truth, then you have, you show people that keeping your own job, right, and legality, liability is first, and taking the job because it's personal is second, whenever you start to do that. But one of the reasons was simple, right? If Koberger fills up his car with gas, that's still a contribution towards society with money, right? Obviously, the gas station he buys gas at gets money, right? When you fill up your car, duh. So, but now, and this also goes off earlier today, but now that you've done something terrible, right? Now there's 4 dead, and if you would have just been yourself, it would have been 1 instead of 4, and 1 is better than 4, if it's, unavoidable, right? So now that you've done something terrible, now I'll put it into consideration, right? So, and you could even say that about the Canadian family too, because, the more medications that the pharmacy puts out is obviously the more medications that they're requesting from their providers and everything, and then the more shipping weight it is then in the containers going to these different pharmacies. Therefore, the pharmaceutical can charge even more, right? Because they need money to suffice their output, right? Their shipping weight and all of that. So yeah, so that's also another reason I didn't share that when I shared about, well, she's asking for the floor for 10 minutes, right? People in the United States are just, well, and all over the world. It's YouTube, so it's World Wide Web. But they're just, tap, 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 right? Just for 1 second, right? Of fame, right? And then again, you can even go into catastrophizing that too. You only get so much time, and you're out here trying to just share what everybody knows, right? Like I said with the teacher, right? So again, just all sorts of crazy, like, utter misery. Like, you just get trapped in the darkness, and then you're just lost in it, and it's just a never-ending whirlpool of just utter misery. But again, that's where the positive mindset comes in, and you have to do the appropriate. Because again, right, this is love and this is hate. We all have the choice to make, and every day we can choose, right? So, anyhow, guys, that'll pretty much do it, honestly. Now I'm up at 12 minutes, so you guys can definitely tell it's getting very nice in here. I'm very excited for it, to, do the progression. So I'll have the progression here. More than likely, this area will peak before the other area. I know you guys saw that last year. If anyone paid attention, it went from starting to change to best color. Like, it just, boom, it was gone. Like, it just took off last year through here, through this part of the state. So anyhow, guys, again, thanks for watching. Also looks like there's a trail up through there on the left-hand side of that tree. But that's to explore another time. And in case anybody is wondering why I'm saying so many times, for some unknown reason, I woke up at like just after 3, and I couldn't fall back to sleep, so I just literally just laid there, focused on my breathing, listened to some music for a while. It was very strange, honestly. I didn't understand it. So if that's why I'm saying I do seem just a little bit slower, that's why. Obviously you guys can see my joy though still. Very happy. So it's not anything you guys need to be worried about. So there I am with again. So anyhow, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will talk to everyone later. Alright, guys, there we go. So anyhow, guys, here is the pond that I was talking about. So guess we'll just go ahead and start right on in. See, I have no idea how far out here it goes, and or how deep it is even. Maybe I won't go from that end, from this end. Alright, guys, let's see what's down in here. Yeah, I'm not gonna hardly be able to do anything, honestly. But here we go. Alright, so you guys are pretty much right in line. Let's try to get out. Or you can go. Alright, guys, so it looks like the bottom is still, just like feet. So let me end this film and walk up to another spot, and we'll see you there.